Hello there, Barbara Ragsdale here, independent maker with Close to My Heart. And if you purchased the Gnomes for Spring card making workshop kit, this is the visual cutting video to the cardstock, the coordinating cardstock that came with your kit. So in the downloadable guide, the instructions for the cardstock start on page 2 and continue through 3 and 4. And so we're going to be cutting up the cardstock for that. And the first piece that you want to grab is your piece of honey butter. And let me grab my piece of honey butter. And I will tell you on this one, we're going to be cutting the dark side. So with Close to My Heart paper, it's 2 colors. One side is darker than the other. Let me just kind of fold that back a little bit so you can see. On the right side is the light side, and the side facing up is dark. So let's put our piece of honey butter in our paper trimmer. And this one's going to be really easy. There's only 4 cuts on this one, but we're going to cut 3 inches. So cut a strip at 3 inches all the way down on the dark side. And then turn that piece landscape in your trimmer. And we're going to cut 2 pieces at 3 inches. 1, 2. These 2 3x3 pieces, these go to card number 3. And with this one, we're going to be die cutting these with our 2. Oh my God, that is so low. 2.5. Yeah, we're going to be thin cutting that with our 2.5 by 2.5 circle, both of these. So I should have grabbed my thin cuts, but I didn't. Where are they? Let me go ahead and grab them so I can show you here. Let me make sure which one it is. So it's a 2.5 by 2.5. Sorry, I should have had that already ready. I think it's the second largest one. I can grab it. Having a hard time grabbing stuff. Yeah, it's the second to the largest thin cut, circle thin cut that you have. I'm going to put that with that, but that goes with card number 3. So I'm going to put that in my card number 3 stack. And the piece that's left, we're going to cut it. We're going to cut. Keep it in your trimmer landscape and cut 2 pieces. No, hold on. These are small pieces, so I'm trying to get. Yeah, keep it in your trimmer landscape. Sorry, I had to think about this. Cut your piece at 3.5 inches. We're going to have scraps either way you look at it. And after you cut it at 3.5 inches, turn it to where the short side is on the top and cut 2 pieces at 3/4 of an inch. 2 pieces at 3/4 of an inch. So these 2 pieces that are 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches, these both go to card number 8. Card number 8. And these 2 little pieces and this big piece of honey butter, those are all scraps, you guys. All scraps. All right, now we're going to cut our piece of jade, and we want to make sure that we are cutting on the darker side. So grab your piece of jade, get your paper in your trimmer, and the first cut we're going to be doing will be at 4.25 on the dark side. Turn that landscape and cut 2 pieces at 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches. And those 2 pieces that are 4.25 by 5.5 go to card number 3. And this piece that is left is scrap. Then get your paper back in your trimmer, and we're going to cut another one at 4 1/4 all the way down. Turn it landscape and cut 2 at 5 1/2 inches. 2 pieces at 5 1/2 inches. That lined up. And these 2 pieces at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 go to card number 6. And this piece that's left, let's make sure. I think we can do this. Turn it. Let's turn it on the short side on the top and cut it at 1/2 inch. So both of these pieces, yeah, it's 1 inch. So both of these pieces will be 1/2 inch, and then we're going to cut those down. There's 2 ways we could have cut this. I wanted to make sure it was 1 inch wide, which it is. Turn both of those pieces. We can cut one at a time, landscape, and cut it down to 3 1/2 inches. Both of those pieces at 3 1/2 inches. Alternatively, you could have cut one at 3 1/2 and then the other just split it in half. But like I said, there was a couple of ways to cut that. These 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 3 1/2 inch, this goes to card number 8. Card number 8. And these 2 little bitty pieces, plus this long piece of jade, that is scrap. Put that in your scrap. Get your limeade, this is your limeade. And we're going to be cutting on the dark side first, which I'm on the dark side. Let's get our paper in our trimmer and let's cut at 3 1/2. These are a little bit bigger numbers, so I can see them a little easier. 3 1/2. And then turn that paper landscape and cut 2 pieces at 4 3/4. 2 pieces at 4 3/4. Now those 2 pieces go to card number 8. Card number 8. And this piece that's left, it's already 3 1/2 inches wide. So turn it to where the short side's on the top. And we're going to cut 2 pieces at 1/4 inch. Oh my goodness. These small cuts really get me, you guys. Because it's right there close to the cutting blade and the little part that goes down. Those 2 little pieces go to card number 8. Card number 8 already has a lot of little pieces. This piece that's left is scrap. All right, and then we got 3 more small cuts. We're going to put our paper back in our trimmer, and we're going to, oh my goodness, cut a 1/4 inch strip. 1/4 inch strip. And then turn that piece landscape and cut 2 pieces at 5 1/2 inches. 2 pieces at 5 1/2 inches. Hopefully I am going slow enough. If you are cutting with me, those 2 pieces go to card number 1. And that little bitty piece that's left over, which you could use that too. So it's scrap. And this other big piece is completely scrap. So let's put those with our scraps. I told you that was easy. Now let's mix it up and do one that has a few more cuts. And then we'll do an easier one. And then we'll do a hard one again. So grab your piece of glacier. And we're going to be starting out cutting on the dark side, which I'm on the dark side. Get your paper in your trimmer and let's cut at 3 1/4 inches all the way down. 3 1/4 inches. Turn your paper landscape and cut 2 pieces at 5 1/2. 2 pieces at 5 1/2. And those 2 pieces go to card number 4. And this piece right here that we have left over, Oh my goodness, you guys. What we want to do is we want to cut, we're going to cut it down. It's already 1 inch wide. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that piece and we're going to put it on the longer side on the top. And we're going to cut 4 pieces at 1/2 inch, but flip it over. We're going to cut the lighter side. This is a lighter side. Cut 4 pieces at 1/2 inch. Oh my goodness. I can deal with 1/2 inch. It's the 1/4 inch that scares me because your paper sometimes wants to move around a little bit. You might cut it crooked. All right, so those 4 pieces of light glacier that are 1/2 inch by 1 inch go to card number 1. I'm noticing a lot of these cards have small pieces, so it's going to be interesting putting all this together. Let me grab those. There we go. And this piece that's left is scrap. And then let's put our paper back in our trimmer and cut it at 3 3/4 all the way down. 3 3/4 all the way down. Turn your paper landscape and cut 2 pieces at 5 inches. 2 pieces at 5 inches. And those 2 pieces go to card number 2. And this piece that's left is scrap. Put your paper back in your cardstock, and we're going to cut at 1 1 inch. So 1 1/4 inches all the way down. Turn it landscape and cut 2 pieces at 4 1/4. Those 2 pieces, we're actually going to be using the lighter side when we assemble our cards. Those pieces go to card number 7. All right. Sorry about that little hiccup there. We're going to continue with our piece of glacier that we have, and we're going to be cutting on the light side. So go ahead and flip your paper, and let's cut at 2 1/4 inches all the way down. And then turn your paper sideways and cut 2 pieces at, make sure I read that correctly. That is so small, you guys. I'm having a hard time looking at that particular number. Oh my goodness. It looks like 3 3/4. I'd rather cut it at 3 3/4 than cut it short. That's what it looks like. 2 pieces at 3 3/4. And those 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 on the light side go to card number 5. And the piece that's left over, flip it back to the dark side, and let's cut it at 2 pieces at 1 1/4 all the way down. And why is that short? I don't know why that's short. So we got 1 piece at 1 1/4 by 3 1/2. Let's cut it down to 3 1/2. So turn your paper sideways. I'll just use this other piece that I have left over. And this piece, I'm having a hard time looking at these numbers. 1 1/4 by 3 1/2. Oh my God, goes to card number 2 on the dark side. And then this piece and this piece is scrap, and we're going to cut another piece. So take that piece and flip it over, the scrap that you have left over, cut it down to 3 1/2 inches, and then turn it to on the short side at the top and cut it at 1 1/4 inches. Okay, and then that piece also goes to card number 2. And the rest of what you have left with Glacier is scraps. We'll put that with your scraps. Now, let's grab our piece of Flamingo cardstock. And we're going to be cutting on the dark side. So I'm pretty sure I got to flip this over. Yep, let's flip it over to the dark side. And this is easy. We're going to do another easy one. And then we're going to do the hardest one, which is the white daisy after this. I'm telling you, the white daisy one is crazy, you guys. So on the dark side, cut it, your first cut at 4 1/4. All right, and now flip it landscape and cut 2 pieces at 5 1/2. 2 pieces at 5 1/2. Now those 2 pieces go to card number 4. Card number 4. And this little piece that's left, turn it long side on the top and cut it down to 3 1/2 inches. And then turn it on the short side and cut it. It should be 1 inch wide, which it is. So we're going to cut that in half. So at 1/2 inch. So let's cut that piece in half. And these 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 3 1/2 inches go to card number 8. Card number 8. If y'all could see card number 8's little stack, there is a lot of pieces to card number 8. This little bitty piece and then this big piece of flamingo, those are scraps. We've got some good scraps with these paper. All right, you guys. Now, oh my goodness. Let me show y'all. Grab your piece of white daisy. But if you look at it, you have almost no scraps at all when we are done with this. And it's going to get a little tricky right here. So I think what I'm going to do is start on the right side when I do the cuts. So I'm going to be working backwards. So we're going to be cutting our white daisy. So grab your white daisy. I'm going to try to pay attention here to what side I'm on. The first cut is 3 inches all the way down. All the way down. This one's going to be an easy one. And we're going to cut 4 of them at 3 inches. So we're not going to have any scraps. So we're going to have 4 3 by 3 squares. So cut 4 at 3 by 3. And these right here, we're going to be thin cutting those with the 2-inch thin cut circle, which is cutting it really close, but that's it. It says thin cut with the 2 by 2 circle. You're going to be stamping on that one. So I'm going to put that with that, and that goes to card number 3. All right, now let's get our paper back in our trimmer. And the next one we're going to be cutting at is 1 inch all the way down. 1 inch all the way down. And then turn your paper landscape and cut 4 pieces. I'm sorry, cut 2 pieces at 4 inches. So 1, 2. Now these 2 pieces that are 1 by 4, you're going to be stamping the title to card number 7 on that. So put that with card number 7. This piece that's left, we're going to cut it at 3 inches. And this 1 by 3 piece goes to card number 8. Card number 8. And this little bitty piece is scrap. Now let's get our paper back in our trimmer. And the next one we're going to be doing is at 1 inch all the way down. 1 inch all the way down. And then turn it landscape. And we're going to cut 2 pieces at 3 1/4. 2 pieces at 3 1/4. You know, these 2 pieces that are 1 by 3 1/4, you're going to be stamping the title on card number 2. So put that with card number 2. And this piece that is left is 1 inches wide. That's right. Keep it in your trimmer long side on the top and cut it down to 5 inches. And then turn it to where the short piece is on the top and cut it in half at 1/2 inch. Okay, let's get that lined up on the 1/2 inch. And these two pieces that are 1/2 inch by 5 inches go to card number 2. And that little bitty piece that came out is scrap. And then put your paper back in your trimmer. And let's cut it at 2 1/4 all the way down. And then turn it landscape. And we're going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them at 2 inches. So cut at 2 inches, cut 6 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have 6 of them that are 2 1/4 by 2, and 2 of them, you're going to be stamping the title to card number 1 on those. So put that with your stack of ones. And then 2 more are going to go to card number 4. You're going to be stamping the title on that as well. And then the last 2, you're going to be stamping the title on that as well. Those go to card number 6. Card number 6. All right. Now, this is the tricky part. This last piece that's left, because we need to have a big piece of scrap left over in order to thin cut 12 1-inch circles. And I think this is the 1 inch. Let me double check. 1 inch, Barbara. Grab the 1 inch. Okay, so it's the very small one. All right, so it's the smallest thin cut circle. So we need a piece that's large enough to cut 12 of these. Oh my goodness. So let me set that aside. And let's take this piece that we have left and turn it long ways on the top. And we're going to cut at 3 3/4 inches. 3 3/4 inches. Cut 2 of them at 3 3/4 inches. Okay. Now take, it doesn't matter which one because they're both the same. Take one of those pieces and turn it to where the short side's on the top and cut it to 2 3/4 inches. So this should be 3 3/4 inches long by 2 3/4 inches wide. That goes to card number 5. And the other piece that you have, we're going to do that again. So on the what did I just do? Oh, it is the same. Okay, it is the same. So it's already 3 3/4 inches wide. Turn it on the short side on the top and cut it down to 2 3/4 inches. Okay, and that piece is also card number 5. And then this piece right here is 2 inches wide. These last 2 pieces are 2 inches wide, and that's what we need them to be. So, but we also need them to be 3 1/2 inches long. So turn that to where the long side's on the top, and we're going to do that for both of them. So grab your other piece that's already 2 inches wide and turn it sideways and cut it down to 3 1/2 inches. And those two pieces that are 2 by 3.5 go to card number 5, and you're going to be stamping the title. So card number 5 and these two little bitty pieces, those are scraps. And then this piece, we got to cut a piece that's 1 by 3 out of this piece. So let's see, 1 by 3. 1 by 3. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit, so hopefully you can really see where I'm going with this. And don't ask me why it's crooked. Let me get off the glare there for you. So I don't know if you noticed, but on the trimmer blade, it might be hard to see, but there's little bitty, and on any trimmer blade, you probably see the same thing. On the sides, there's little bitty marks on the sides over here that measure on the side ruler that I have. I'm trying to create the biggest piece of scrap here so that we can use that biggest piece for our 12 squares that we need to cut. We need a piece that's 1 by 3. So I'm going to put it in at 1, and let me start at the top, and then I got to stand up so I can see. I'm cutting it down to 3 right here on the side, and I'm using my side marker to tell me where 3 is. And 3 is right there. My little line on the side of my trimmer blade is lining up with my 3. Okay, now I'm going to take it and turn it. Let me do it this way. I'm going to put it right at 3 inches. And then I'm going to put my blade down. One by 3. Okay, let me see if I can get it right over here. I have to do things backwards sometimes. I hate that. Okay, let's do this. Bear with me, guys. I need to cut from here to here. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to put it at the 1. Is it the 1.5? I think it was at 1.5. And take my blade up to 1. I'm going to line that up where I cut it the first time, and then I'm just going to go up. Oh my goodness. And there's a little bit. There we go. If I need to take my little paper snips, I can do that. So I have a piece now that is 1 by 3. Yay. That goes to card number 8. And then the rest of this is the scraps that we need in order to die cut 12. I was trying to save this piece down here. See what I mean? Even if I had cut it, it might have been wide enough, but this piece is supposed to be large enough to die cut 12 of these. And it's going to be basically 6 of them for card number 4 and 6 of them for card number 5. So if you want to make a sticky note somewhere on that, you can do that. I'm just going to set this off to the side, and I'll write a sticky note for that. But other than that, oh my goodness, you guys, the white daisy was crazy, right? Other than that, that is it for the cardstock cutting video for the Gnomes for Spring card making workshop kit. So thank you all for hanging in there with me, and I will see you in the next video.